हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए, लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा, या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहां हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज, जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें, या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ, जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहां आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहां आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining. My name is Rohan, one of the co-founders of QFUS, which is a mentorship aggregator platform. We at QFUS has been supporting Apna for the Apna Exclusives, which has been happening weekdays at 7 p.m. and weekends at 3 p.m. So the main agenda of these sessions are to help people ideate and upskill and advance themselves in their professional career. And we are covering a wide range of topics, be it functional skills or professional skills, or even scientific skills like data science or product management or even spoken English. And today we have Jayant with us, who's a data science leader at Zscaler, and he's going to take us through the topic data science career path, opportunities, and challenges.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Thank you,
thanks
Rohan. Thank you
for
for that.
joining. And
No problem.
I think I mean, you've done the session before. I think we can take up questions on the chat box, or if people would want to unmute themselves, feel free to unmute and take up any questions as well.
Wonderful.
Just a request to the participants, in case you're not asking any questions, request you to mute yourself so that it's easier for us to have a seamless session. Thank you.
Okay. Rohan, I think good to go then. I'll be waiting for more folks.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining this session. It'll be, as Ron mentioned, please keep the session alive. Like ask your questions, queries. You can put it on the chat window, or you can ask it away. Like, we are here to help. So without further ado, let's dive in. I'll tell you about myself a little bit. I am Jent. I am working as a data science lead with Zscaler. I'm in the data world for quite some year now, and with that experience, you get to meet a lot of people and get to work on different projects that are helping the drive AI, and especially these days the Gen AI world forward. Right. So as a day-to-day work, I work as a machine learning engineer, where I'm building machine learning models to help increase the revenue and remove or reduce the churn rate for our product company. At the same time, we are building few chatbots that are powered by LLM, so that the company internals, before prepping up for any kind of a job or product pitch, okay, I think I missed a last few lines. Let's just reiterate. I think everyone got muted, right? I was saying that like working on these models. So meanwhile, I'll go take you through today's discussion. If anyone has any industry related question also, yeah, please, more than welcome to put it in the Q&A. I'll be on the screen share most of the time, so I'll keep an eye on the chat window, but your questions will be entertained. Okay. So let's, I'll share my screen and then we will take this thing forward. Just give me a minute. All right. I hope you all can see my screen. I am.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Right. So today's discussion is more on the data science career path and the opportunities that lies ahead of you, what the market look like, and what are the key challenges people are facing in the world right now. Right. So the topic seems to be very simple enough, but the discussions that you're gonna be having is really amazing. So, I formulated from few pointers that I want you all to go through with me, and some links that I want you to go through during the session, so that you get an exact information that I want to portray. It's not like I'm generating out of my own insights, like, or my own inferences. It's like something which is out there in the world, right? So I was going through the links for all you of us to go to together to understand what data science has done in the market in the past few years, what it is doing to the market right now, and what can we expect in the future, right? So let's dive in, right? So we'll have our discussions mostly revolving around the demand, how it is increasing, what are the factors that are increasing the demands, what technologies are driving those demands, which companies are looking for those demands. Then once we have set up a base that these are the things that the world is looking for, now how you and I can build our profile to fill that positions. So we'll be talking about some key skills, and then we'll talk about the journey, how a typical data world look like, how the journey needs to be, what are the various roles that you can apply for, and lastly we'll address the key challenges most of us are facing, why even after doing the courses, learning, why people are not able to crack that position, right? I mean,
Uh,
let's say you have a rich experience and then you still want to crack it, that
Jen,
what is stopping
sorry to
us?
intervene. If we can, do you think we can go on a slideshow mode or something?
Oh yeah, sure. No worries. I just few. No worries. We can do that. No worries.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, wonderful. Right. So yeah, keeping those things in mind, I'll take you through to the discussion. Right. Okay, wonderful. All right. Just 1 second. I think now I cannot see the Q&A part, but I'll stop in a middle and look at the Q&A part because the window is gone now.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm available on the chat box as well, so I can keep
Oh,
talking.
perfect. And then that will be helpful. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, talking about the demands, right? I mean, it's very simple to come up to a conclusion where the market is growing. It's very easy to verify. All you have to do is search for any top 500 or Fortune 500 company and look for their career page, and you will find all data related jobs are there, right? Like every data related job is there. So does that mean the world or all these companies are only IT companies? No. I mean, you just check banking segment are hiring crazily about our data scientists, data analysts, data engineers, machine learning engineers, ML ops engineers. Financial segment is hiring. Right? Talking about product companies who are pioneer in the insurance domain, they are hiring. And not only that, and what brings additional top or cream on of it is like the service companies, which interacts with other kinds of companies, they're hiring. So advantage of for us working as a data scientist over there. Maybe this year you're working with the entertainment industry with movies and all, and next year you are working with the fast food giant, and then you get an opportunity to work in the banking segment. Something like which happened with me. I joined a retail company, service company, helped the retail client in the AI world, and then shifted to the entertainment segment, and then the banking segment, and like currently into the security firm, right? So product and service are doing a lot of mix where you, especially people who are transitioning, especially people who are new in the data science world, these are the companies you should target first. Why? uh, the require prerequisites for these companies are not too technical. They are not too difficult to get into the market. They also know that not everyone is a veteran in data science, right? And they hire more. The number of hiring is really high. So the advantage you get in hiring and getting into these companies is that you get a slightly less difficulty in cracking the interview and the overall cycle. However, the difficulty comes because the number of applicants increases, right? So how to be on the edge. So there are pros and cons in terms of the market trend where it is going. But most of us, talk about like crazy amount of let's be very transparent here, like like the crazy amount of money people are drawing in the data science world. So where are those people coming from? Those are the segments which are generally targeting the startups, the the high end product companies like the Amazon, Uber, and all. The only, I would say, a big roadblock for new people in the data world getting into these startups and the top notch product companies, that their process of acquiring a data scientist is slightly different from the generic world what is looking for. Why? Because they might say it's a data science profile, but all in all, they are looking for a person who's good in the engineering side of it. Right? When I say engineering side of it, if you apply at Walmart, let's say, right, they'll not be hiring a data science person who just builds a model. No, their objective of hiring a data scientist would be someone who understands the software world inside out. Someone who can write codes, someone who knows cloud, someone who knows the overall end-to-end architecture of how the data travels, the data pipeline, and then your expertise on top of it, right? So you and I should be very crystal clear where we are applying. I'm not saying you cannot apply there. You can definitely, you can easily do it. A lot of people have done that, coming from non-tech background and working in top-notch companies. So if they can do it, we can do it. But a smart person is one who knows the current market, who knows which company is asking what kind of process, how much you can clear through, and how much exposure you get into the real world of data science. If you have never worked on a real-time project, how can you go through 11 rounds of grilling with a very top-notch product company, where they will be focusing on your hands-on part, right? So a very smart thing to do here would be to first get into a world of data science with one way or the other, like a data analyst or data science role, and then honing your skills further and further and getting an advanced level, right? So that's the idea of me to show you where the world is going on in terms of the industry. Okay, in terms of market, I'll tell you, like, these are the number as of now, right? And these are not like number I have typed in. These are the actual numbers sourced from either McKinsey or the BCG or the Analytics Vidya or the Great Learning. These organizations do a lot of surveys, right? What people are looking for, what kind of job market we can be expect. So keep yourself up to date. These are not difficult numbers. I'm not saying it took me years to build this one page of slide. It hardly takes half an hour or 1 hour of research. But the reason is, we are so much developed into honing our skill. We don't look at what the industry trend is. Like, these are like quick Google searches, chat GPT questions you can ask, and you can also get all these numbers, right? Why it is important? Because you are going to be applying not today, maybe tomorrow, or maybe after 6 months, right? So you should know what will be the job market going forward. What was it last year, right? If you are today earning, let's say, X amount, what can you expect as an increment in the coming quarters? So a real time study done by surveys with legit organizations will definitely help you, right? Now, these numbers that you are seeing are sourced from these legit websites, which tells me that in the 2004, we are expected to have a lot of job openings, and that's actually true. You can open LinkedIn today only, and you'll find these numbers are absolutely right. There are a lot of jobs. Nobody's lying, right? You can go to Naukri and you can find out. So overall increase has been observed from last year in this year in the data market, data science market. But at the same time, I'll tell you, the complexity of the job process has also increased, because if more people will apply, obviously, if I'm recruiting one person for my team and 100 applicants are there, so it's a very natural phenomena. I'll be looking at certain pointers which is very unique in that one person, right? So, but that's a different thing. But you and I should know that there is scope, right? You're not entering into a dead market, it's a growing market, right? The entry level market of data science has always been high compared to other fields, right? But from past 1 year, 2003 end and 2024, we've seen a slight decline in the initial package. It can go a little less also because of the the outburst in the market right now. A lot of freshers are coming, so these numbers are more for people coming from the trend pattern, which we were expecting it to go to 8 to 15 lakh, but real time numbers are showing that even around 5 to 15 could be a good number. but this is the number was quoted on the website, so I didn't want to tweak it. But something when we were doing the research, we found out that around 5 to 10 is the number where the fact is going to be, which is driving the current expectation that you can. And the upper limit, there is no upper limit, by the way. You can get into a world of at a very high level, obviously comes with a lot of experience, might be a product company or a startup, and you can end up on a really high note also. And people are drawing it. It's not rocket science. Nobody's making up these numbers. People are actually drawing it, right? In terms of skill demands, I'll be very honest with you. Python is dominating as of now. So every one of us should definitely be having a good command over Python. SQL is gonna be your go-to any day. So don't think twice before learning these things. And machine learning is something definitely. I'll spend some more time on the technology in the upcoming slide, but at a high level, I wanted to show you that these three things should be in everybody's plate as of now, right? Or maybe in the next quarter or by next to next quarter, if you're targeting to grow in the data world. And you might notice, I'm not sticking myself to data science. I'm just using the data world because the nomenclature used in the industry is little dynamic. Some people are calling it ML ops engineer, machine learning engineer, data science, AI ops, data consultant, and data analyst working as a data scientist, data engineering working as a data expert. So a lot of mix and match is happening here. So I'll keep it to data world. Right?
Jayant, sorry, in
Yeah.
case you're presenting any slide, there's nothing being presented at the moment.
Oh, I am. As a matter of fact, I thought you all can see my screen.
Um, I can't. Sneha, can you?
Just
It
give me.
was visible, now it is not.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Just give me a minute. I'll do that again. All right.
Yes. Perfect.
Is
Now
it
it is.
visible now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in the presentation mode, right? I hope the PPT
Yeah.
is. Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much. I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Good. Great. So let's take it to the next step. Right now, we have set up a good base in terms of what the market is looking for, in terms of companies, and a very high level discussion of the key skill that you should be. Now, let's, if someone is out, a product is there, right? So to build that product, what all the key ingredients are required, that should be researched properly, right? I cannot just tell you become a data scientist. Now, how you to become a data scientist? So for that, the ingredients that are required to really achieve the next stage as of today, right? And these tech stacks keep on changing, because the market is evolving. So we have to keep ourselves up to date. So I was just doing some quick research, like the time I started and the time which you all will be doing forward, it's completely different. And because of that, our requirement skill, the tech stack, has become a little exhaustive. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's the real world we live in. And the expectation has been a little been on the skyrocket side. Why? Because visualization has become like a skill that everybody assumes you have it. And when I say visualization, I mean I'm stating, not promoting any product. It could be Tableau, it could be Power BI, it could be like Superset, or any visualization inside the cloud of AWS or GCP, right? So reason I'm putting out this thing, if you're applying for any job, data analyst, business analyst, data science, machine learning, or anything, be very wary of this, that visualization is considered to be your known skill. They'll already expect visualization. Okay. And trust me, it's not that complex to learn, right? And you Power BI and visualize W, these are like drag and drop tools. A dedicated month, and that's it. You will become an expert. I'm not saying you will learn it. I'm saying, and you can quote me on this, you can become an expert. A dedicated 1 month of research on any one of the technology. And you don't have to learn all of these, just one is suffice, because if you know Tableau, you'll be able to easily do it in Power BI. If you know Power BI, you can easily do it into Superset or any third party RCRM, TCRM. There are a number of visualization tools. You just have to learn one, right? And then there are some tools like K9, IBM Bot, SPSS. It's very popular for statistical people, not for everyone. But yeah, I mean, some of you might be already knowing it. So just pointing it out loud. But these are like from the tool side. Like the coding side, R is still considered to be a market level, popular programming language. I'm not going to deny it. It's very good for marketing team. If you are getting into banking segment and marketing analytics, a lot of organizations are still using R. But the other bigger segment where like fashion, entertainment, retail, medical, defense, those people are already on the full-fledged Python as of now. So if you're completely non-IT, if you are transitioning toward the IT world and you are not very fond of writing complex code, don't get overwhelmed that do you have to learn all of these languages. No, just stick to one. Python is the reason it is so popular because compared to other programming languages, it is the easiest programming language to learn. Anyone you go to, any data person, they'll tell you upfront Python is the most easiest language. That doesn't mean it is a language which is easy to learn. And when I say easiest, compared to other programming languages, right? Like compared to Java, C, C++, it is easy. But yeah, obviously, right? That doesn't mean you can master it in day one. A constant practice will definitely help you. So talking about tools, done. Talking about language, done. Then talking about packages, like more of which are really important in the current world is your scikit-learn, which is really important for any machine learning engineer. TensorFlow, which is powered by Google. So people who are going to practice on Google Colab and all that, if you are on GCP, TensorFlow is going to be really helpful. PyTorch is an amazing Torch libraries by Facebook. A lot of visualization can be easily done on Torch. A lot of GenAI stable diffusion models are on Torch libraries. So learning and acquiring that skill will really help you in the longer run. Now, scikit-learn is a easy to medium level package here. On the contrary, TensorFlow and PyTorch are medium to hard level package here, right? So people who are new, take your time in scikit-learn. People who are into medium and advanced level, start stretching yourself and pushing yourself into the world of TensorFlow and PyTorch. Now these are like packages which really help us, or libraries, use the right jargon, which really helps you build amazing application quite easily. Like simple 3-4 lines of code, and you can build a simple text to audio converter in Python, and it's so simple. So they really help you. Now, technical wise, you can talk days, and it will never be enough conversation. But where most of the student lack or feel like a gap is domain knowledge. Because what's happening is, if you're applying at a service company, so domain is not that big of an issue because you yourself don't know which client you'll be working for, so they'll not judge you on the domain basis. But if you're going for a product company, it's a fixed thing. They are into that product, and they'll be expecting you to know something about that product. I cannot go into the retail world if I don't know what sales numbers are, vendors are, how articles are managed, what promotion cycle is, what inventories are managed. And I'm not a PhD in inventory management and supply chain management. No, but at least some elementary level knowledge, right? If you are building a machine learning model that optimizes the revenue for next 6 months, and you don't even know what cannibalization or pull forward and these small jargons are, then how will you build a model? So this is the biggest gap most of us data scientists feel. We hone our skill in the data world, but when it comes to business, we completely zero. Right? Now, this is the only problem here is this is not a skill that anyone can teach you. It's you either do a PhD or MBA, right? which is very time consuming, or you get a hands-on experience. So generally, freshers find it little challenging here to come back with this thing. But other than that, if you are an experienced folk, try to leverage the industry you have always worked in. That will give you more options to enter into the data world, right? And lastly, enough talk about the key skills. I mean, cloud is one such thing that I cannot emphasize enough. That would be justified. I don't know any other organization that is on-prem any these days. Maybe there are, but in my known circle, I don't know any organization that is working on on-prem. Every other organization is on cloud nowadays. So if you are building your profile, don't say that cloud is not your forte. You are a data scientist. Please work on that part, right? And these numbers and stats that I pasted in the previous slides are not my visions, right? I also got it from the NASCOM sites and the popular websites which have researched these things. Okay, so do check out these trends and technologies which are trending, and we'll be able to get a real sense of what all the numbers and things that I have mentioned. These are not just coming out of the blue. These are the real world numbers that are people going through, right? So expect this knowledge gap as a real time problem and try to solve that problem by acquiring that skill. Okay, yeah, cool, wonderful. Right, so taking this ahead, right now we have addressed the market. Now we have addressed the key skills which are required for us to build a good profile on this segment. Let's just talk about something in terms of how will you build that profile now, and how do you segment your roles into the market. Now you cannot apply for all the roles, right? I mean, it's very impractical. I cannot go out there and say, oh, I can be a data analyst, data science, data engineer, ML ops, AI specialist, Gen AI, everything on day one, right? Even after years of practice, you cannot do all the jobs altogether. I mean, frankly speaking, I don't know why there are a few job openings with full stack developers, but each of these designations that you see on my screen right now requires you to hone your skills in that direction with a proper set of tech and domain knowledge, right? If I talk about data analysts, it's a really rich market right now because of the outburst of Gen AI products. Small scale companies and product companies and service companies, they are looking for people who are good with analytical mind, because now you are not restricted with any kind of coding. There are visualization tools. Power BI, I was telling you a minute ago, is powered with OpenAI key now, right? You are getting state of the art Gen AI inbuilt in Power BI. So a lot of intelligence can be done quite easily. So the world of data analysis is a completely different thing. You need to work on your domain knowledge, SQL skills, analytical thinking, and any one dashboard tools, and you are welcome in the data analyst world. On the other hand, data scientist is a little bit of broader role where you are expected to do some kind of a partial data analysis, partial data engineering, machine learning, model building, like an entire pipeline thing. So these are like profiles which are generally at medium and expert level people apply, right? Fresher is a little difficult to get into the data science world because the expectations are too high for a data scientist. But on the other hand, data engineering is something which is a little different from these two, the first two that I mentioned. Why? Because data engineering was earlier was also there when the database management people were already managing the data, but now we have taken it to a real world complex world. Right? Imagine if you are working with Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube or Netflix, the amount of data these apps generate every second, it's like millions and billions of bits of information are generated. If a match is going on, people are tweeting about it real time, and you get analysis on the go. So if I am tweeting here, sitting here, and there is a server in US, right, that fetches, dwell all that data, put it into a data lake, clean that data, and push it to a machine learning model in a fraction of seconds. This is not just happening on the sky, right? There are people who are doing these and handling these things. Those are called your data engineers. The biggest market of data right now. Every other organization is like rushing to have a good quality data engineer. Tech stacks like Hadoop, PySpark, Lambda functions. They are the world who's ruling. If any match going on, if the analysis is not done properly, you don't see the insights, right? So every other company is forced to give you these kinds of products. Then on the last side, the machine learning engineer side are the people who are good with the deployment side also, who are good in coding, who can write modular codes, who are really well versed with the Python programming language, who have DevOps knowledge and can deploy it on the cloud side. Now these are the cash crop designations, like which is minting cash, because these are like the more complicated job profiles, but at the same time the expectation is also really high, right? And lastly, AI specialists are or I was trying to write Gen AI over there, but it's like everyone uses that term, so it's like overused, right? So AI specialists or Gen AI, if you want to say, are people who are working into the LLM world. That is something is very, very niche. That is something which is quite new. You will not find a lot of people working in that segment. If a lot of people are working, they'll be working directly in the OpenAI company, right? Other than that, people will not have more than a year experience in that direction. So that's quite a new field, Gen AI and AI specialist. A lot of research is required to be part of that domain. And you need to have a very, research front mind. You need to have a really PhD scholar kind of a background in terms of mathematics or computer science. Those people are really really welcomed into the world of Gen AI, right? And at the same time, specializations. You cannot be an expert in business intelligence and natural language processing or computer vision at the same go. I mean, you can, but at the same time, it's practically very difficult. But over a period of time, let's say 2 years, yes, you all will be expert in all three segments. But as of now, don't do the mistakes which most of the people say. I know they try to learn all the things and then they don't learn anything. Pick one of your major skills which you're comfortable in, master it completely, and then do the transition to the other world. Right? Perfect. By the way, I'm going on a streak here. I'm hoping, I cannot see the questions, but I hope you all are putting on your Q&As. I'll be more than happy to take it at the end and definitely make sure that all your questions are being answered. Right? So please don't hold on to your thoughts. Just type it away and I'll be taking them one by one. Right? Okay, wonderful. So that was just a theoretical knowledge in terms of numbers, right? Again, you can double check my facts. It's not that I have written on my own, right? You can, the popular sources for these websites, right? Like the McKinsey, BCG's reports, Glassdoor reports, Analytica Vidya reports. These are the actual latest numbers in the market. So we all know that, data science is leading. Data engineering, as I was telling you a minute ago, has shooten up a really high number. It was very low a few years back, but now it has competing with the data science roles. Machine learning, is more or less the percentage is less because companies try to hire less folks. And to be honest, you don't need many machine learning engineers. 2 or 3 people can do that job. And it's very difficult to find these people also because it's very rare someone who has the knowledge of data, say science, cloud, DevOps at the same time. So it's a rare skill. But whenever we find, it's a very good opportunity for the company also, and at the same time, it's good for the resource also, right? Fun fact, when you ask a tester or a developer or a web developer, an app developer compared to a data scientists generally are really happy with their job because most of us, are not here because we want to do it or we had a course in our, BTech or your graduation. This is something you are learning on your own. So obviously, something when you are learning on your own as a certification and then going for the jobs, you're gonna love it. Otherwise, you would have never entered into the market at the first go. Very practical thing. Second, it's not full tech. Sometimes you'll be talking about data. Sometimes you'll be brainstorming. Sometimes you'll be doing a new research. Every 6 months, you're learning something new. So I think this number is absolutely true because in my circle or like in my company or like in my previous organization, I never felt anyone complaining that they hate their job because it's always fun. You're doing some creativity because nobody knows, even your directors and all, nobody knows what is the correct path. So you're always exploring something new. So when you're exploring, you enjoy a lot. So the satisfaction level, the direction that data science is going is really really high, right? So, well, I mean, I just hope these numbers gives you a good sense of the market trend and the path that you want to choose, depending on your capabilities and your best key skills. Right? Great. And now, since we have talked about the job market, the key skills, and the path that one should opt for as per their own, feasibility and their own comfort zone, there are a few things that you should definitely be keeping an eye on. What are those key things? The challenges that nobody talks about. Right? Because we are so much fancied and carried away with the output of a data science job that we stop looking at the everlasting, I don't want to use the word pressure, but yeah, kind of that thing. The amount of work, the amount of learning. Like AI is becoming like a doctor's field, right? You see, a 60-year-old doctor is still learning and applying for certificates because it's a never-ending process. It's more or less the AI world is also like that only. Every other quarter there is something new research is going on, and the expectation is you keep yourself up to date. So it's a job that will keep you on your toes. It's not that like you got it into the market and you are just doing the same thing every day. No, some people take it as a pro thing, and I want you all to be part of that. Some people, but it could be a little challenging at some places. So we should not always look on the bright side of it. We should be very well versed on the both the sides of the coin, right? So rapid involvement, development in the keys will always keep you on toes. So expect a lot of research, learning, upskilling forever. It's not that one-time job. Trust me, I'm learning every day. 1 hour or two, like a half an hour, I have to watch something new going on, because the role is such that nobody knows what is the right answer. So to find that right answer, we have to do some research. So even though I'm not from a PhD background, but kind of doing that kind of a job. Then comes the ethics, which is going to be the new big thing. There are data laws, but expect a lot of new AI rules for our country also will come definitely in the upcoming time. There are no very strict rules as of now, but once they come, the guardrails for you all to build the model will really be skyrocketing difficult. So as of now, those rules are not that complex, but seeing the way we are progressing in AI, expect a lot of data privacy kind of a constraints coming your way. It will not directly impact you, but at a certain level that you should be knowing these things, right? Because you will not always be a data scientist. You're gonna becoming a senior data scientist, lead, data consultant, architecture. So one day or the other, this will really impact you. And the workload, right? The expectation. As of now, the market expect data scientists to build the model. If that is someone is telling you, that's completely lie. The expectation is you understand the data. You generate insights out of the data. While generating insights, you will find the problem with the data. You resolve those problems. Then you solve the insights. The insights that you have generated will help you hypothesize some problems. Those hypotheses will need to be resolved using a model. Once the model is trained, you need to know how to deploy and maintain that cycle forever, like a cycle. Now, this process that I have told you seems a very one-liner, but when we do it in the industry, it pushes us to our limits. And that is one thing why most of the people who just jumps into the world of data science don't realize, and then they feel little agitated once they are into the job. And trust me, there is no good job or a bad job in data science. I have done manual annotations also for thousands of image, just simply drawing manually where a car is, where a cat face is, where a ear is, to labeling, to maintaining data, to a complex GenAI image model. So expect the same thing. It's not that you're gonna pick something what you want to do. You will be expected to do all these things, but it's rewarding also at the same time, right? So that's why people put in so many hours and numbers into it. Nobody is just doing it for the sake of it. No. People enjoy it. That's why they're doing it. But at the same time, it is taking a toll on ourselves, right? So, right. So in terms of data journey, as I was telling you, very minimal amount of time is spent on model building and deployment. Majority of the time is understanding the data, visualizing the data, finding problems in your data, solving those problems, statistical test, hypothesis testing, and all those things. So don't think like, the day you're going to jump into the data science world, you'll be building machine learning models and GenAI. 90% of the time you'll be cleaning your data. And on an average, as per most of the studies, 60% is something that you will spend on just understanding your data only, right? And when the GenAI comes in, I'm not very sure IEEE is coming in with 68%. I'm like 100% confused all the time whenever it comes to ethical dilemmas with respect to GenAI, because the amount of data we are collecting, the models that we are building, and the outputs those models generate, nobody has a control over it. Even though we are putting so many guardrails, but still GPT based models generate random data. So we are always, we give warnings, disclaimers, apologies, messages are there in all chatbots, because you never know, it can hurt somebody's, on the basis of religion, caste, sex, preference, age, physical, anything like that. So all these generative AIs have a very difficult time these days promoting. So on an average, IEEE thinks that it's a 60% of the time people are facing this issue. I am facing 100% of the time when I'm building a Gen AI product. Right. So yeah, I mean, these are the core things that you have to be worrying about at the very latest stage of your career. But since today we were, helping you decide the entire challenges that will come your way, that's why I put in all these numbers for you. Right. Perfect. Cool. So yeah, that brings us to the Q&A part, because like these are the 4 major segments that I wanted to cover with all of you today, right, in depth. So I now I want to engage into the questions that all of you have asked. So I'll try to answer them. Yeah, perfect. So just give me a moment. Uh, uh, yeah, don't maybe any specific. I see a lot of questions. Any question that has been filtered, or you want to be which common questions? I can't hear you, Rohan. If you're saying something, I'm really sorry.
Sorry. I think there are only 3 questions.
Oh,
One is,
perfect.
do we learn both Python and R?
Again, I mean, I would say, emphasize on Python more. It's gonna be more helpful compared to R programming language. Python has a more job opportunities market. As I told you, R is more focused, has a very niche market in the marketing and business side. Sorry, banking side. And Python has a wide audience as of now. All the companies I have applied, taken interviews, given interviews, worked, 99% of the time people use this Python. So I would say I'll put my money on Python.
I think that's the only question. Others are just.
Oh, okay, perfect. Good. Okay,
But
fair
we can
enough.
take up questions, team guys. We can definitely take up questions. We have some time, and if you think that you want to unmute yourself, please feel free to go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I wanted to ask that I graduated this May, like I
Mhm.
completed my BTech,
Mhm.
and from that time I'm applying for data analyst jobs. I have some projects in Excel and Power BI, and I've updated my resume, and I also have certifications from Coursera and
Okay,
LinkedIn Learning.
got
But
it.
still, I'm not able to get any jobs, even come get to the first process of resume selection or interview. So, can I get any tips for that?
No, fair enough. I mean, that's a very valid question and a very, true sense problem that is going on in the real world. I'll tell you. A few years back, the market was more open for the freshers. Let's say if 100 jobs are for freshers, then at a mid level and a senior level, 25 jobs were there, right? But now the trend has shifted. Most of the companies are hiring people because they want a product delivered really fast. And I wish I could have sugar coated. Even I could have sugar coated, sorry, but can't. But most of the companies are looking for people who want directly, like you get on board and you try to solve their problem rather than teach you. And in these case, the advantage people who will get is if you are able to get some kind of an internship during your college last final semester and transition through that journey, that is actually a good way of entering. Or get into there are a lot of internship opportunities coming. Now the dark side of internships are something which I really hate is most of them are very underpaid and some are free, right? Which is, should not be a thing. But yeah, that's the world we live in right now. Try to get those done in 3 months, 6 months kinds of internship. Get a real world experience, because even if I am, I'll tell you myself, if I am screening your resume and I see no experience, and if I want one resource in my team right now, I would be little reluctant in hiring, because I would not be expecting you to teach you like for next 3 months, right? I would be needing an immediate help. If someone has left my organization, I would want someone who joins and they bring their own knowledge with them. So right now the market is really good for people who are in the between the range of 3 to 8 years. They're getting a lot of calls. Freshers are finding it difficult. I would say your profile is really good. You have done very intelligently good certifications, courses. These are the benchmarks, Coursera and all that. Try to do some case studies on Kaggle and look for any internships that you can get on LinkedIn or Naukri. That will really help you get in the, you might get a transition into the company directly from that internship also, or at least it will open the world for you. You'll increase your license and people will try to help you, refer and all that. But take your steps in that direction first.
Thank you, sir. May I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I had done an internship in my eighth semester at Ernst& Young as a consultant,
Okay.
but I didn't continue there for some reasons.
Okay.
So now some people suggest me that I should go into a job, any job that I can get into, like a software developer, something. And
Mhm.
after I get experience, then I transition into data analyst. But
Mhm.
I don't have interest in that field. Like I have interest in business analysis or data analytics. So would you suggest me
Uh,
to?
I do get it where you're coming from. It's a quite a mix feedback. A lot of people give in this direction that you at least get a job first, like that, right? Get into the IT world and understand how programming is. I would not say this is a bad idea, because software profiles, even if it is testing, will really help you understand the business, really help you understand the product cycle. And data scientists who are good in data science, who lacks business knowledge and the product cycle, they are finding it really challenging to change their job. So people who are coming from software side, right, they are finding it quite easy to become a data scientist rather than a data scientist becoming a full stack data scientist, because we lack the fundamentals of good programming languages and logic changes. So till date, software engineering is one of the best job. I know a lot of people are transitioning to data science world. I myself is a data science lead, but I'll upfrontly tell you, software engineering is like the best job ever. It helps you, think very analytically and quantitatively at the same time. If you are getting an opportunity to be a developer, transitioning to an AI will be very easy for you. That is not a bad idea at all. But you're like, you're adamant to be a data analyst as of now, then it could be a little challenging in the initial stages. Because EY, I know it's a really good organization, especially when it comes to data analysis. They do a rich amount of data analysis. And in that case, all Big Four does a really good thing. But yeah, I mean, transitioning from internship would have been a better option. Going now, if you apply, it will be a little challenging, off campus placement. You might either have to go through internships again, or through service company and then transition into a product or Big Four, something like that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
No worries. Yeah. Good. Sure. Who else?
Awesome. Um,
I see one part, it says Python, Power BI plus Excel. Yeah,
yeah,
these three are actually a good skills. Just add SQL on top of it. These four, and you are good for any data analysis job. Absolutely right. Python, Power BI, SQL, and Excel on top of it. For these things, I agree. Absolutely right. Okay, cool. Anything else, Rohan, that is there?
yeah. Abhinand, you'll get the recording of the session. So what I can do on an immediate basis is I'll send you a link on the chat box. I mean, this is for everyone. I would request you to register to the link, and you can get access to all the recordings, not only of this session, but also of other sessions that has happened throughout the week and the month. And apart from this, I've also shared I've shared a feedback link a couple of times. I request you to please take it, which will help us improve our sessions on a regular basis. So we can wait for another couple of minutes and see,
No problem.
Jayant, if we can take up any questions.
No,
Feel
no
free to
issues.
unmute yourself, guys. Is there any platforms to get internship?
LinkedIn is a very good source. Then there is internship.com, something website like that name is there.
I think
But
Internshala is also,
Internshala, yeah, I
yeah.
think the one you're right, yeah. So few websites are there, but I've never experienced, so cannot uh, quote here whether it's good websites or not. But mostly I have seen in LinkedIn a lot of internships who come.
Awesome.
Sir, learning NLP, Gen AI, and deep learning for a job in AI field, will it be advisable now, or is there experience required for that also? Like, is it good
It
for a
is a
fresher?
good skill to add on, but the jobs which you will apply for the Gen AI or deep learning, their expectation would be little higher. I mean, it's an amazing skill to have in a portfolio. Maybe not today, but by tomorrow you have to get that on skill on your portfolio. The only catch is the organizations who will be hiring for these people, they will have a really high expectation in terms of software development, a cloud skill, and the NLP or computer vision or Gen AI, whichever you apply. And they'll not be looking up for someone who just knows it at a scratch level, but someone who can actually work on those models. Okay,
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
no worries.
Awesome. If there are no more questions, I think we'll sign off for the day. Just iterating again that there's a feedback form that's shared on the chat box, and also the Apna Exclusives link where you can register yourself and get access to all the recordings. It is also shared on the chat box.
Hello.
Yes, Sagar.
Yeah, I'm sorry to join you late. So, uh, actually, I'm looking forward to to work as a data analyst in future. So, may I know any what will be the trend in job market and what will be the scope in future?
Data analyst is quite a booming skill right now. It has a very big market currently, and the expectation is that we'll be needing a little bit more of a data experts in future because of the outbursts in the tools powered by Gen AI. So these tools have made the life of the management level quite easy. So they are not looking for full tech people, but rather than people who are good with numbers and analytically really sound, so that they can use these tools and can help visualize their data, their business to the next extent. So this is one profile which is definitely going to be there for quite some time now.
So, what I want to ask is, can we get any break overseas? I mean,
Uh,
in future can we work can we work from home in future? Working for
Work from home. Like you're talking about like freelance or work from home kind of opportunities.
yes, working
Uh,
for the MNC companies, but like what we did in lockdown period. So is it
it will be
possible?
difficult. It is difficult. Most of the organization, as of now, I'm being part of some discussions. As of now, I don't see any trend going towards full work from home. It will definitely be hybrid for the rest of our life now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually quite a concrete thing, because most of the people who are at a very high level, who are really good in their domain, they're questioning the fact that genuine discussions are not happen at home. It's a debatable thing again. I'm not here to debate, but yeah, the hybrid is going to be the thing for the future. Not going to
Okay.
get full work from home. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, the role of Python, SQL, I mean, each component which is related to data science. I mean, every what I want to ask is, I mean, uh, Python, and they have all the equivalent value, or I mean, खाली Power BI किया तो चलेगा या खाली
Uh,
Python?
it's like add-ons will make your profile really good, right? I'll tell you up the environment we live right now. If a simple example, if I have one job opening, 10 people are applying, and 9 people have Power BI and one have Power BI plus Python, I would prefer a Python person, because that person is bringing on some more advanced stuff. They can incorporate coding with Power BI, and definitely they can create better results than the other 9. So because of that reasoning, I would say sticking to one technology during these days, when it is very easy to learn these skills. At the same time, the market is also expecting you to have multiple skills on your forte. It is not advisable to stick to very limited tech stack. You should have a
Okay.
diverse tech stack.
Okay. So the last question, the background. What is the past background or the past academic track will not matter, right?
It doesn't matter at all. No, nothing, none at all. I have worked with doctors, economics, BCom honors. There's no such thing in data science world. Everyone is doing really good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Great, good. I see one question, Rohan, regarding Avinand has asked regarding the
Which
backlogs and
the
career gap.
backlog, yeah.
Hello, Rohan.
It's more of a question, I would say, depending on the organization. Avinand, like some service companies will definitely take that into account, and they might not, entertain the profile. But startups and all, they don't worry about these things anymore, And even the top-notch companies, they have stopped worrying about the degree at all. So maybe 1 or 2 more years where people are gonna cry over all these small things. Going forward, it's the skill matters. If I interview today and you are able to deliver the product that I want, I don't care which degree you are holding. I'll be more than happy to work with you. So, but yeah, as of now, you might find it a little challenging for yourself, but this will not be a problem for the next batch of graduates. Right. Amit, programming wise, Python, I would say you can start, don't worry about any other complexity. Python would really help you to build your profile in the data science world. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Jayant. Thanks for a
Thank you.
wonderful, insightful session. I think we have covered all the questions as well.
Thank you, Rohan.
On time. So thank you again. Thank you, participants, for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
I will see you again tomorrow in another session. Bye. Bye, Sneha. Thanks.